What's up guys, I'm BTC. We just got a brand new hero, so this video is gonna be your guide for all the tips and info you need to play Brigitte. First up, quick announcement, there is brand new awesome stuff in the merch store. There's a link down below, go and check it out. We're going to start with a brief overview. Brigitte is a support character that is a healer tank hybrid. She has 250 health, 200 white, and 50 armor. Her primary attack is the Rocket Flail. It's a melee type attack that will deal 35 damage to all enemies in front of her within 6 meters. It has a rate of attack of 1 swing every 0.6 seconds. Her right click is the barrier shield. It has a health of 600 and will begin to recharge automatically when not in use. Functionally, this shield is the exact same as Reinhardt's, it's just smaller in size and lower in health pool. Her shield bash is an ability that can be used while the shield is being held up. It does 50 damage, has a range of 6 meters, deals a 1-second stun as well as a small knockback, and has a cooldown of 5 seconds. Her next ability is the Whip Shot. This is treated like a projectile. It deals 70 damage, has a max range of 20 meters, a cooldown of 4 seconds, and has a strong knockback that can push an enemy back 5 to 10 meters. Her next ability is the Repair Pack. This will heal for 150 health or up to 75 armor as an overheal. It has a range of 30 meters and a cooldown of 6 seconds. The temporary bonus armor will disappear after 5 seconds. Her ultimate ability is Rally. This will grant 30 armor per second to all allies within an 8-meter range. The ability lasts for 10 seconds. The armor is permanent. However, each hero can only have 150 bonus armor at any time. If they take damage and the ability is still going on, then that armor will be replaced. And the last thing is her passive called Inspire. This is an area of effect healing ability that will heal for 16 health per second in a radius of 20 meters. It has a duration of 5 seconds, and this is activated by Brigitte hitting an enemy with her flail. This can be from a normal attack or from the Whip Shot. Now, I'm sure some of you want to know how these abilities will interact with other characters and in specific situations. I've already made a video going through all of those different interactions, so I'm going to put a link to that down below and on screen, so you can go and check it out after you're done watching this. Now let's go through some tips. The first couple have to do with your primary attack. Even though it's a melee, it still has quite a good range on it. In fact, it will reach out farther than Reinhardt's hammer can. This means you don't have to be right up close to the enemy in order to hit them with your flail. You can keep a good amount of distance between you and them, and that will give you a little bit more breathing room and a little bit more response time in case they're trying to move forward. And it will go through shields, so if there's a Reinhardt or an Orisa, you can still hit them right through their barrier. If you're having trouble determining how far the flail is going, if you look at the ground, you'll notice that there's an animation where the dust gets kicked up as the flail goes past. So you can use that to judge just how far away the flail is actually reaching. Next up, her Inspire passive only needs to be reset once every 5 seconds, so you don't have to constantly attack the enemy. You can keep your shield up to defend yourself and anyone else who might be behind you. So as long as you hit the enemy once every 5 seconds, all of your teammates within line of sight will be able to get that constant heal over time. And remember, it's different from Lucio's healing. With Lucio, you have to constantly have line of sight of your teammates in order to heal them. With Brigitte, the only check that's required is when you initially hit the enemy. After that, your teammates can go wherever they want and they'll keep the healing on them. The next tip is that Brigitte can work quite well as a bodyguard for your other support player. So most of the characters that want to dive into the back line that are strong against the supports are actually significantly weaker versus Brigitte, and that's because she has armor and the shield. so Brigitte can function as that bodyguard and keep your other support alive. And particularly if it's a Zenyatta, when you combine Brigitte's stun with her whip shot and the discord that's coming from the Zenyatta, you can make quick work of a Genji, of a Tracer, or whoever else is trying to get into that back line. Brigitte has a very powerful yet fairly easy to do combo. It starts with a standard melee attack, followed by a shield bash, then another melee attack, and then a whip shot. If done correctly, this will deal 190 damage, more than enough to deal with a Tracer, and enough to make a Genji or almost any other 200 hit point character run away. All of Brigitte's abilities have fairly low cooldown, so you should be using them quite often. The only one you need to be a little extra careful with is the Repair Pack, and that's because it's the only controlled healing that Brigitte has, and it is incredibly powerful. It restores 150 health instantly, and anything over their full amount will get converted into temporary armor. So you really don't want to use it when a character is only missing 10 or 20 health. You want to wait till they're about halfway, then it will fill them all the way to the top, and then give them a little bit of that extra bonus armor on top of it. Or what you could do is if you have a Winston or a Diva who's about to dive into the enemy team, you can hit them with it right at the beginning, so that way they get that big boost of 75 bonus armor, so as soon as they land in, all of that is what's going to be attacked and taken off first when they start to take damage. And by the time they've taken enough damage to go down to half health, your Repair Pack should be off cooldown, so you'll be able to hit them with it again. Brigitte's ultimate rally can be quite powerful, though not quite in the same way as Lucio or Zenyatta. It's not meant to stop a big enemy ult. Instead, what it does is it mitigates all of the normal damage that the enemy team will put out. So, over the entire duration of Brigitte's ultimate, she will give 300 bonus armor to all of the allies in the area. However, they can only hold an extra 150 armor at any point in time. So once they hit that 150, they stop gaining armor. But if they're constantly taking damage, you will also constantly be giving them armor. So the best use of her ultimate is for initiation or at the very beginning of a fight, because it's going to start giving all of your teammates armor, and as they're taking damage, that armor is going to be removed, but you're just going to continue giving them more and more. So effectively, everyone on your team who is in the area will end up getting a bonus 300 armor for the entire duration. Whereas if you use your ult towards the end of a fight, what happens is your entire team is going to cap out at that bonus 150, and then all of that additional armor that you're giving out is just not going to get applied to any of the characters. Brigitte's Whip Shot and Shield Bash are amazing at interrupting enemy abilities. The Whip Shot doesn't have any stun to it, but it does have a great deal of knockback. So if a Reaper is using his ult, or a Reinhardt is charging, or if a Mercy is trying to res an ally, you can use the Whip Shot to push them far away and to kind of disrupt their abilities. The Shield Bash is even better though, because it does have a stun in addition to the knockback. You can use this to interrupt many of the enemy ultimates or regular abilities in the game. You can also use it to go through enemy shields and stun the Reinhardt on the other side, forcing him to drop his own shield, making him vulnerable to the rest of your team. Another thing that you should spend at least a little bit of time trying to learn is the shield boost. This was incredibly powerful when the character was on the PTR, however Blizzard nerfed it quite a bit. This trick will still be somewhat effective in some areas though, as it will allow Brigitte to get up on top of objects or get into shortcuts that otherwise she wouldn't be able to get to. How this works is you jump and then shield bash into an object, and this will propel Brigitte up into the air and allow you to get significantly higher than a normal jump. Again, it's not as good as it was when it was on the PTR, but it's still useful enough that you should spend at least a little bit of time practicing it. So I hope this helped you out and you understand the character a little bit better. And if you do want to learn about the interactions between Brigitte's abilities and other characters, make sure you go and check out that video that I got linked down below. Thanks for watching. Make sure to check out my Discord server. Follow me on Twitch and Twitter. The links for that stuff are down below. And remember, always blame the controller because it's never your fault. Also, special thanks to all my Patreon supporters for helping to make this all possible. If you'd like to see what kind of cool rewards you can get for supporting the channel, check the links on screen and down below.